Hi everyone, Matt V's Movies back for another video, and today I'm going to be looking at the film Dune that came out 2021. And this is the steelbook from France, which includes the 4K disc, the 3D disc and the Blu-ray. Lucky to pick this up from Amazon France. So I'm going to be discussing the 3D picture and sound quality and the 4K, sort of all my thoughts on this film. Just before we start, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Please consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be informed when I upload a new video. Welcome back to existing subscribers as well. Really appreciate comments on the channel, so yeah, leave a comment down below on sort of your thoughts on this edition. Have you seen the film? What did you think of it? Have you got the 4K? Did you pick up the 3D? Or have you just got the Blu-ray or even the DVD of this? You know, I know there's sort of many versions of this, so yeah, really appreciate comments. Also, please give the video a thumbs up. That really helps the channel. So yeah, and if you like to share the video as well, that'd be great. And also, you can find me on Instagram, and I post pictures on there and the occasional little video. So yeah, go and check me out over there. Okay, so let's get on with the video. So just before I shall talk about the picture and audio quality, just give you a bit of background on the film. So Dune came out in 2021 and it was a certificate 12A in the UK, and it's science fiction stroke action adventure genre, and it ran for 2 hours and 35 minutes. Just to give you a brief summary of the film: Paul Atreides, a brilliant and gifted young man born into great destiny beyond his understanding, must travel to the most dangerous planet in the universe to ensure the future of his family and his people. As malevolent forces explode into conflict over the planet's exclusive supply of the most precious resource in existence, only those who can conquer their own fear will survive. The release date in the UK was the 21st of October 2021. And the director was Denis Villeneuve. The box office in US dollars was $399 million. Cinematography, Greg Fraser, and this was adapted from the Frank Herbert book Dune. Now there is going to be a sequel to this. Part 2 is coming. They weren't quite sure at the start of going into production with this film whether there was going to be a part 2, but that has been confirmed. And obviously this film is kind of left on a bit of a sort of, not cliffhanger, but you kind of think, right, what's going to happen next? So so the cast included Zendaya as Shanae, Timothy Chalamet, Paul Atreides, Rebecca Ferguson, Lady Jessica, Oscar Isaac as Leto Atreides, Jason Momoa, Duncan Idaho, Stellan Skarsgård as Vladimir Harko, Dave Bautista, Glossu Rabin, Xavier Bardem as Stilgar, Josh Brolin, Gurney Halleck. Just to give a couple of lesser known facts about the film: composer Hans Zimmer is a big fan of the novel Dune and turned down working with frequent collaborator Christopher Nolan on Tenet to score this film. For the same reason, Denis Villeneuve was top choice but turned down the offer to direct the Bond film No Time to Die. Also, David Lynch, the director of the previous Dune, which was in 1984, stated that he had zero interest in Dune, the remake. He cited that his issues with the new movie had nothing to do with director Denis Villeneuve, but his own painful memories of making the 1984 version. That's interesting. I mean, to be honest, I can remember watching the original Dune, and yeah, not really my cup of tea. Found the film quite boring. Not very well acted, to be honest. But I know a lot of people out there like this film, and they've picked up the 4K Arrow box set, and, you know, all credit to, you know, people for liking that film. But for me, it's just not a film that I enjoyed. However, June 2021, totally different beast. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I went to see this at the cinema, and yeah, I was blown away. The visuals on this were absolutely fantastic. You know, it's a slow burn movie. You don't expect to go into this thinking it's going to be sort of, you know, all action, guns blazing. There is action in it, but you know, it's setting up the story. Obviously, based on the novel by Frank Herbert, and yeah, it's, you know, just visually stunning, and the sound in the cinema was just, you know, kind of breathtaking, amazing, absolutely amazing. So now on to the 4K and 3D presentation. Now, I have to admit, I haven't actually watched all of the film yet on physical disc, but I have put some scenes on the film, both the 4K and the 3D versions. So we'll talk about the 4K first. Yeah, I mean, the scenes that I saw, you know, it's a great picture. There is a fine level of grain on there, which I think is intentional. I think the film was shot digitally, but then they put it through kind of like filters to give it like that filmic look. The HDR is, you know, pretty good on this. You know, it's probably for a lot of people, they're going to say this is a reference disc. And I think if I didn't have it to compare to the 3D version, I probably would agree. But, you know, it's got great black levels in this. You know, it's going to be probably the best it's going to look on physical media, certainly. And again, if you've got OLED technology, it's going to look, you know, pretty amazing on that technology. Sound, again, on the 4K disc, you've got a Dolby Atmos soundtrack, and yeah, fantastic. So some of the scenes I watched, you could tell there's sort of an atmospheric sound to it. Scenes where they're kind of, you can tell there's height, you know, echoes, and you know, with the ships flying, various scenes with ships, certainly those kind of dragonfly ships that you see, you can hear those above. So yeah, it's a great mix. You know, you've got left and right separation, and, you know, a lot of rear effects going on. So yeah, it's a great mix, don't get me wrong. And you know, if you just pick up the 4K version of this, you're going to be thoroughly, you know, pleased with the transfer. Okay, so now onto the 3D disc. Now, when I put this on, I was totally blown away by this. The level of depth in this film is fantastic. It's like looking through a window. Now in this film, you've got epic landscapes, scenes of the city, dune landscapes. You know, there's sort of space scenes in this, and it just looks fantastic. I didn't get to see this in 3D at the cinema, but say lucky to get the French edition, which I believe only France and Germany got the 3D. But yeah, wow, I'm absolutely, you know, I need to sit down and watch this completely in 3D. It's a long film, so, you know, you need to take sort of, you know, a bit of time to set aside to watch this. But yeah, I was thoroughly impressed with this. Now, one particular scene that stood out to me, there's like a kind of like a spider creature, I suppose. Now, when I watched this in 3D, the image was kind of a lot brighter. You could see this creature a lot clearer, but when I looked on the 4K, it was a lot darker and a lot, you know, more difficult to see. So that surprised me. Now I'm guessing because of the HDR, it was sort of creating a darker scene. I mean, it was in sort of inside a building. I can't remember the exact scene, to be honest, but as I say, it's just like sort of like a black creature with lots of legs. Yeah, that specific scene, I thought, wow, I can see it quite clearly on the 3D, but it's difficult to make out on the 4K. So yeah, that was interesting. Now onto the sound. Now on the 3D disc, there's a DTS Master audio mix, and I was gobsmacked by this. The level of bass with this DTS track was amazing. Now for me personally, I preferred the actual DTS track over the Atmos, and for me to say that's quite a surprise, because usually Atmos is, you know, going to be the preferred way. It's a shame that they didn't go with a DTS X track on this, because I think that would have just bumped the ante up. I wouldn't say it's as atmospheric as the Atmos, but my word, the DTS, and you usually find this with DTS tracks, the bass is generally sort of a lot more prominent with those mixes. But my word, this makes it just feels so much more cinematic to me. I was, you know, quite amazed by this. It really did sort of, I just thought, wow, this is impressive. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the DTS soundtrack. And again, you know, great separation, right, left and right, great rears, but it's, obviously you're not getting the Atmos, but yeah, really impressive DTS soundtrack on this one. Now we'll just have a quick look at the tech specs on the back of this release, and I'll just get it in as close as possible, because I know I had somebody ask a question whether there was a Czech track on here, but unfortunately there isn't. But as you can see on the 4K disc, you've got French, English, German for Dolby Atmos. There's Dolby Digital, French, English, Deutsch again. Subtitles, French, Dutch, German and English. On the 3D disc, you've got subtitles in French, Dutch and English. There's just English and French DTS audio. And then on a Blu-ray, you've got, actually there's a Dolby Atmos on the Blu-ray. I haven't checked out the Blu-ray, so I can't comment on that. But so there's English, French, and then Dolby Digital, French and English, subtitles, French, Dutch again, and English on the Blu-ray. And I'm sure if you you know, you're just going to opt for the Blu-ray release on this one, you know, it's still going to be impressive. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Blu-ray. It's still pretty good quality. You know, it's obviously the 4K is going to be, you know, yeah, an improvement. But it's nice to see there's a Dolby Atmos soundtrack on the Blu-ray. So, you know, you've got options. And again, if you just pick up the DVD, you know, the DVD is still going to look quite good. It's going to, you know, it's a modern film, so it's going to look good, you know, even if you can upscale it to your HD TV. You know, it's still going to look pretty good. So, you know, if that's all, you know, all you can afford, then why not go for the DVD? You know, it's you know, there's options depending on your budgets as to what you want to go for. So I'd recommend all media for this, to be honest. So guys, that's just a bit of a sort of my thoughts on the picture and sound quality and the various editions that we're getting on this French release. As I say, you can pick up, if you're into 3D, there is a German Amaray, standard Amaray release. I don't think there's a Amaray of the 3D in France. I think it's the only way you can get it with the Steelbook. But you know, if 3D is what you're into, you know, head over to Amazon Germany and or eBay, and I'm sure you can find the 3D release. But like I say, you know, whether you get it on 4K, 3D, Blu-ray, or even DVD, you're going to have a great time with this film. If you love science fiction, action, epic sort of, you know, kind of feel to films, you're going to love this. So I'd highly recommend checking it out. So guys, thanks very much for watching the video. Take care and see you in the next one. Bye now.